Let's be real. You spent your whole life trying to be the good girl, only to feel like you're getting absolutely nowhere. Do you feel overlooked, unheard, or even punished for being yourself? There is a part of you that knows is powerful, wild, and completely untamed. You've been taught to hide it, to sand down your edges so you don't make people feel uncomfortable. That feeling is not just in your head, it's connected to a shadowy point in your birth chart called Black Moon Lilith. By the time I'm done with you here in this video, you'll not only get the story behind this potent power of yours, which has been suppressed, but you'll also have a guide to taking it back. And this is based on all 12 houses that Lilith calls home. And this isn't about fixing something that's broken. This is about finally realizing where your greatest, most magnetic power has been hiding all along. Before I jump into it, this is the Darling Aura. I am Clarissa. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome. If this video resonates with you, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, and let's get into it. So what is Black Moon Lilith? First off, Black Moon Lilith is not a planet. Lilith isn't a physical body that you can spot with a telescope. It's a mathematical point, the lunar apogee, which is the furthest point in the moon's orbit from Earth. That feeling of distance and darkness is the key to her vibe. She represents the parts of our psyche we exile, the pieces of ourselves that we don't fully get or maybe we don't want to look at. Her story comes from the medieval Jewish folklore, where Lilith was the first woman created before Eve. She was made from the same earth as Adam, making her his equal in every way. But when she refused to be submissive to him, she chose exile over obedience and was banished from the Garden of Eden. For centuries, she has been painted as this corrupt, dangerous creature of the night. And in your birth chart, Lilith channels this badass, rebellious, feminine energy. She's the wild part of you that won't conform to society's boring rules. She's your inner rebel, your raw sensuality, your sacred rage, and your unapologetic independence. Where Lilith shows up in your chart is where you feel misunderstood, shamed, or even rejected. But here is the secret. It's also the exact place where you can find profound strength, liberation, and almost a hypnotic power. Her energy isn't about senseless destruction. It's about forcing a raw confrontation with the truth so that you can reclaim what was stolen from you. So why does Lilith matter for you, as she is a point of pain? Understanding your Lilith is non-negotiable for anyone who's ever felt like they're on the outside looking in. Her placement in your chart is like a giant arrow pointing to the area of life where you carry a deep wound of exclusion or suppression. It's that point where you might feel a constant tug of war between a deep hunger for something and a simultaneous urge to burn it all down. This right here is the heart of your personal shadow work. For women, Lilith's placement shows where society expectations of what feminine is meant to be has left a mark, and it's your invitation to rewrite those rules. For men, Lilith highlights their relationship with the feminine, both within themselves and within the women they encounter, showing where they might be wrestling with the perceptions of feminine power and autonomy. If you bottle up this energy, it can curdle into defensiveness, self-sabotage, or just rebellion for the sake of it. But when you consciously work with Lilith, Lilith becomes your superpower. The goal here isn't to fix this part of you, it's to integrate it. It's by embracing this shadow that you unlock your most authentic, creative, magnetic, personal authority. Let's dive into Lilith in all the houses. Lilith in the first house. This is the witch that everyone sees coming. So if your Lilith is in the first house of self and identity, your very existence is a trigger. The wound here is being judged or feared for just being. You've probably been called too much, intimidating or intense, even when you're just breathing. This makes you feel like you're being punished for being you. Your rebellion is against being put in a box. The power of this placement is to radically own your own body, your face, and your identity. So stop apologizing for taking up space. That magnetic, sometimes intimidating vibe isn't a flaw, it's your power. You're here to disrupt the status quo just by showing up. Lilith in the second house, this is forbidden self-worth and money. With Lilith in the second house of value and self-worth, the wound is around your right to enjoy and have things. You might carry a deep shame about wanting wealth, pleasure, or just basic comfort. This can show up as you chronically undercharging your work or feeling weird and guilty when you're presented with a gift. You might either hoard resources out of fear of lack or get rid of them because you feel like you don't deserve them. Your power is to fiercely claim your right to be well resourced. Your connection to material world isn't shameful, it's sacred. Abundance is your birthright, not something you have to earn. Lilith in the third house is the unfiltered voice. With Lilith in the third house of communication, it means your voice is the site of your wound. You are likely to be shamed, silenced for your thoughts, or told you were too blunt. You might have a history of sibling rivalry or betrayals where your words were twisted. This creates a fear of speaking up, leading to either total silence or blurting out your truth with zero filter. Your power is reclaiming your voice as a tool of liberation. Your words aren't meant to be sweet and accommodating. They're actually meant to be disruptive, illuminating, and true. Let that filtered voice be your power, not your shame. Lilith in the fourth house is the ancestral witch. When Lilith is in your fourth house of home, family, and roots, your wound is ancestral. You probably feel like the black sheep of your family, carrying the weight of unspoken secrets or inherited trauma. Home might feel like a place of suppression, not safety. You're here to break the toxic family cycles. Your transformative power is to become your own safe harbor. By healing your own foundation, you're not just healing yourself, you're healing your entire lineage and creating a new legacy of emotional freedom. Lilith in the fifth house, taboo pleasure and creativity. With Lilith in the fifth house of pleasure, creativity, and romance, your joy is your wound. You are likely to be shamed for your romantic choices, your sexuality, or your art. This can cause major creative blocks, rooted in a fear of being judged for what you love. Your power lies in reclaiming pleasure and creativity as holy acts. Your creative force is meant to be wild. It's meant to be untamed. Your path to empowerment is to create, love, and play for the sheer joy of it, free from fear of what people may think of it. Lilith in the sixth house is the overworked priestess. Lilith in the sixth house of work and daily routines points to a wound around service and sacrifice. You constantly find yourself in toxic jobs where you're overworked and underappreciated, leading to burnout and even chronic health issues. Your body is rebelling against being used. Your worth is not tied up in your productivity. The power here is in sacred boundaries. You reclaim your power when you realize that your worth is inherent, not earned through endless labor. Lilith in the seventh house, she's the dangerous lover. When Lilith is in the seventh house of partnerships, the wound gets projected onto others. You attract intense magnetic partners who mirror your own suppressed power, sometimes in obsessive and manipulative ways. Relationships can feel like a battleground because you're terrified of losing your identity. The transformative power here is to own your own magnetic allure instead of seeing it reflected back to you. This placement demands radical equality in your partnerships. You are meant to stand beside someone as a sovereign equal, not to merge into them. Lilith in the eighth house, she is the alchemist of trauma. Lilith in the eighth house of sex, death, and transformation is one of her most powerful placements. The wound here is deep, touching on trauma, hidden desires, and the messy entanglements of intimacy. You may have a history of trauma bonds, secret affairs, intense power dynamics around sex and money. The power is pure alchemy, turning your deepest pain into your greatest strength. You have the ability to face shadows, death, trauma, sexuality without fear and guide others through their own darkness. Lilith in the ninth house, she's the heretic mystic. When Lilith is in the ninth house of belief systems, you're likely to be shamed or rejected for your spiritual beliefs, leading to a deep distrust of organized religion or some kind of dogma. Freedom is everything to you. Your power lies in trusting your own direct line to the divine. You're not here to follow a pre-written scripture. You're here to write your own. Your path to wisdom is the one that you carve out for yourself. Lilith in the 10th house, she's the witch in public. Lilith in the 10th house of career and public life means that your shadow is on full display. Your wound is about your legacy. You might face public backlash or get labeled too ambitious or too controversial in some way. Your power is to let your untamed dark feminine energy lead your career. You're not meant for a quiet, acceptable legacy. You're here to be the force of change in the public eye, even if it makes you notorious. Own the very controversy that others are afraid of. Lilith in the 11th house is the outsider in the community. If your Lilith is in the 11th house of groups and friendships, your wound is not fitting in. You may have a history of being betrayed by friends or rejected by groups, feeling like an alien even among the people you thought were your tribe. Your power is to attract your true soul community by being unapologetically, fiercely yourself. Stop trying to get approval from the group. The right people will find you when you stand so firmly in your own truth that you become a beacon. Lilith in the 12th house, she's the hidden sorceress. Lilith in the 12th house of the unconscious is the most mysterious placement. The wound is often subconscious, showing up as self-sabotage, spiritual anxiety, or a deep, nameless rage. You might be overwhelmed by your own psychic abilities and use escapism to numb it out. The hidden enemy is often yourself. Your power is to own your own profound psychic gifts instead of running from them. By surrendering to the unseen and trusting your intuition, you tap into a deep well of spiritual wisdom, turning self-destructive thoughts into your greatest magical asset. There's one more thing to look at, and that is your Lilith Return cycle. It's crucial to know about your Lilith Return. This happens when the transiting Lilith returns to the same point in which you were born, which occurs roughly every 8.85 years. At the moment, it's Lilith in Scorpio. What have you been up to, Lilith in Scorpio? This transit powerfully reactivates all those themes, especially around your 9th, 18th, 27th, 36th, and so on. During a Lilith return, you might find that the good girl act just stops working. A primal urge to break free from whatever has been holding you back rises to the surface. It's a reset, pushing you to make fierce boundaries and embrace a more raw, authentic you. So as you can see, Lilith in your chart is not a curse. It's actually a sacred map pointing you to your most profound and magnetic power that has been hidden. It shows you parts of yourself that you exile or have been exiled, but holds the key to your wholeness. Embracing your Lilith is about giving yourself permission to live your truth. No apologies. It's about understanding that very part of you that society says is unacceptable and realizing that it can be your source of your biggest strength and freedom. None of this makes you broken. It makes you powerful. So thank you for going on this journey with me into the shadow of the feminine. I'd love to hear about your own Lilith placements. And if you feel like you've had any aha moments, then please drop a comment. And again, if this video resonates with you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content on astrology and tarot. It's all about empowerment over here. So until next time, go and embrace your shadow and Lilith in Sagittarius, it's your turn next.